Hi, I'm Tim, and this is Timberway Designs. I have been making a series of videos making cabochons out of rocks that I find and purchase. This week I got a piece of Bunyan Plume Agate. Let's make a cabochon. So let's take a closer look at this Bunyan Plume Agate. I bought this agate at a rock show not too long ago. The guy had a couple chunks there, and the colors kind of got me there. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm not going to get this one wet. I got another piece I'm going to get wet because I got to mark my my pattern on there. So let's get this wet. And just kind of like a fiery agate looking stuff going down here. Some quartz down along the bottom. I believe this stuff comes from California. From what I've seen, there's a mine out there, but I don't know if it's open anymore. And I'll put the description on the screen. Bunyan Plume Agate is a type of plume agate which is characterized by its fluffy feather-like inclusions of red, white, and gray minerals extending into the chalcedony background. Now, when I heard this is Bunyan Plume Agate, I'm going, yeah, right. And I looked it up, and it does exist, and that's what it's called. You can Google it, and this is kind of comical to me. So I think today what I'm going to do for a pattern here is this large tongue, because I want to get some of the chalcedony or quartz or whatever it is on the bottom there. So because it's a dark one, we got to take our, let me move this over so you can see what I'm doing here. I think right about there, I'm liking that. So we got to take the silver Sharpie so I can see the line, because if you use a black Sharpie, when it gets wet, you can't see the line anymore. And then I think on the bottom down here, we're going to go with the black Sharpie, like that. So let's go downstairs on the chop saw, and we'll trim this out and then take it over on the cabber and grind it down to the lines. So we'll see you down in the shop. All right, down here on my 5-inch trim saw, switch went out, so I got to plug it in now. I have to put a little deal up here because it sprays water over the place. All right, so we're going to cut this shape out here. Let's go. Yeah, I got a little close to my line, but I think we're just fine. So obviously the more I can cut off, the less I got to grind off, but it can come at a cost. You could have a piece break off in the corner or something, so you got to be kind of careful, and it depends on what kind of rock you're cutting. So let's go over to cabber and we'll grind it up to the lines. All right, we're on the cabber here. We'll start with the 80 grit, then the 220, and then the 280, and then I take it over in the 600 to kind of polish the edge a little bit. So let's get started. So it's chipping just a little bit, but this is the back side anyway, so we're gonna move on to the 220 grit right now. I got pretty close to the line here. Quit bumping my camera. Okay, I think we're going to go with this. I kind of cut close on this side, so I kind of trimmed this side to match it. So I'm going to go ahead and hit it in the 280, and then we'll do the 600, and then we'll dop it up and bring it back down and make a cabochon out of it. I'm going to tilt the camera a little bit here. See the kind of edge we're getting. All right, I'm happy with that. We're going to move on to the 600, and then we'll. Okay, if you guys want to see a little more in-depth video of exactly, I got a longer one, my first one. Just look at the up in the corner here. I think it'll pop up there. Click on that, and it's like 26 minutes long, but it kind of explains more of what I'm doing here. So. Let's go upstairs, or I'll go upstairs and I'll put a top on it. We'll come back and finish it up. See you in a bit. All right, we got the Bunyan Plume Agate all dopped up here. So let's make it into a cabochon. Let's get started. So we'll start with our 80 grit, go over to 220, 280, and then we'll polish it. So what we're shooting for here is a 2mm to 1/8 inch girdle, and then I'll start putting 45s in here like this, and then once I establish my girdle, I'm gonna take this one here and cut a 45 in this edge right here, and then we'll start doming it. Okay, you kind of see I got one here, got one there, and then I still got the flat top there. I'm going to start doming it now. I think I've got it rounded it off enough with the 45s. All right, I'm still kind of flat up here. I want to get a little more rounded there, but it's starting to come into shape here. Got some pretty cool patterns. I'm starting to get it a little rounder there, but I'm going to keep going. I got a flat edge here still. I got to get that out, and a little more right on front. Getting there. I'm I think I'm going to grind out a little bit more, but kind of pleased with this shape. I want it just a little flatter, I think. I still got a little ridge right there, maybe a little bit there, and then we can start going on to the next wheel. All right, go down to 220. Now let's take a good look at this. I think it's looking okay. I'm going to run it on to 220 just a little bit more, and then we'll move it over to the 280 and start polishing it. All right, move to the 280. Not seeing any scratches right here. I'm going to put it under a little bit more, and then we'll move on to polishing steps. Okay, here's the problem. This quartz or whatever, chalcedony, whatever this is, it's much softer than this stuff here. So this corner, I kind of cut this corner a little bit. I'm going to have to cut this corner a little bit to try to match this. So got to kind of watch out the part. Notice this is a little softer when I was initially grinding on the 280. So I think we'll go back to the 220 and try to fix it. I can live with that. Now you just got to be careful on the 280 here so I don't grind it all of my repair away. Alright, I think the edge looks broken. Let's polish this. So I'm going to have to move the camera over here to the polishing side, so I'm going to shut you off for a second. Alright, we're over here on the polishing side. I'm going to do the 600. The one I keep forgetting the label, 13, 12, 15, I can't remember. 3000 and the cerium oxide on the end. So we'll start with the 600. And some might have to take it back and touch that corner up a little bit. But we're going to go through the polishing process to see where we end up. And then if I got to go back, I'll just go back off camera. Well, starting to get a little shine going there. Let's move on to the 3000. I think the 3000 helped quite a bit. Let's punch it on the cerium oxide and see if we can make this shine a little shinier. So I'm going to have to shut you off and move the camera for that. Alright, we're on the cerium oxide. I got to take the side off. Get my splash deflector. Water on. Turn the water off. Let's see what we got here for a shine. Not too shabby. So I'm going to throw this in the freezer. We're going to take it upstairs. We'll take a closer look at it. Well, we got the Bunyan Plume Agate off the stick. Got a nice clean break. I only had to scrape off a little bit of wax. So let's take a closer look at this. So here's our Bunyan Plume Agate here. And we've got some nice detail in here. Got a little white quartz or crystal or whatever the heck that is. I went ahead and broke the edge. I don't polish the back. I smooth the back. And then broke the edges along here. So we've got some nice detail, agate looking stuff going on there. Got a fairly decent shine, not too shabby. So if you like this agate and you want to purchase it, you can go to my Etsy store, and the link is in the description down below. Or you can just look at it and look at some of the other stuff I got if you're just looking for ideas. Now I'm going to put a bail on this, and if you don't want a bail, if you want to wire wrap this or put it in silver, I'm using this E6000 here, and you can pick this bail right off, and you can scrape it off of the, with your fingernail or a little tool or something, and get all the residue off from the E6000, because it don't get hard like epoxy or super glue. That's the kind of the neat thing about it. So let's get a little bail right here. Let's get the cap off the tube and get a little dab on there and get this finished up. And get a little squeeze out here. Here we go. A little dab. And we'll kind of smear this in here. Try to keep staying focused so you can see what I'm doing. Like that. I'm going to orient it like this. Oops. Come on, stay on there. There we go. Get you down here where you can see what's going on. Get it kind of centered up. Looks good. Okay. There you have it. Bunyan Plume Agate. I think I said earlier this comes from California, and I think the mine's not open anymore. I don't know what the deal is, but like I said, I bought this at a rock show. I bought a couple little slabs of it, but I can't get over all the different contrasting colors and all the unique patterns in here. So there you have it. So thanks for watching me take that slab of Bunyan Plume Agate and make it into a beautiful cabochon. I'd like to thank my subscribers for subscribing and watching my videos and liking them enough to subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. It's free. It helps me out a lot, and give me a thumbs up. The analytics, it helps that get the videos out so more folks can see what I do here. So next week, we went to Saxon Harbor, Wisconsin, which is on the south shore of Lake Superior, right next to Michigan. And we picked up I got a whole bucket of beach rocks now, and I got a piece of epidote. It looks like it's got basalt, and it looks like it's got rhyolite. It's got all kinds of stuff going on in here. So we're going to split this in half and make a cabochon out of it. And I want to let you know I'm going to start a new series here. I'm going to take 10 rocks that I find on the beach in my landscaping and digging around in my backyard, because I got lots of rocks back there too. And I'm going to cut them in half and let's see what's inside. So we'll do 10 rocks a week, and that'll come out on starting this Wednesday. So I'm kind of curious myself. I love to see what's inside these rocks. So with all that being said, that's all I got for you this week. We'll catch you later.